For this video, I'm going to prove or give a counterexample for this statement. If two triangles both have interior angle measures equal to 32 degrees, 100 degrees, and 48 degrees, and both have a side length 10 centimeters, then the triangles are congruent. So let's underline some important things. We know that these are the angles that are given, and we know that they have a side length of 10 centimeters. I'm going to really box this one. It says a side length. So it doesn't specify what side length is 10 centimeters, which is really important. So for this, we're going to construct two triangles. And since it only says a side length, I'm going to have each triangle have 10 centimeters, but be a different side length. So for my first triangle, side length, it'll be a side length A has 10 centimeters, and for my second triangle, the side length B is going to have 10 centimeters, and I'll see if these are congruent. So to begin, I have created some angle measures. So this is 32 degrees, this is 48 degrees, and this is 100 degrees, and this is going to be helpful when I'm constructing my triangle, since we know that the angle measures are 32 degrees, 48 degrees, and 100 degrees. So I'm going to start off with my 10 centimeters. And I'm going to use a straight edge for this, which is really important since triangles have line segments, which are straight lines. So here, all the way to here. That is 10 centimeters. And I'm going to write this in the inside here. 10 centimeters. And I'm going to actually do this in pen. That two dots is 10 centimeters, and I will darken it later. And now I have 100 degrees. I'm going to put it here, and I know that this line will make 100 degrees. So I'm going to use a pencil for right now. Line everything up to make it 100 degrees. Okay, so then this line here, this is 10 centimeters. This is 100 degrees. And then I'm going to use my 48 degrees. And you have to line everything up. That's the very important part. If not, it's not going to be actual 48 degrees. Okay, so we know that this is 48 degrees. You can see that if I put it here, it's congruent. So this is 48 degrees. Just not bleeding through. And now I just have to extend these lines so they touch. So I'm going to extend this one out more, and I have to make sure everything's lined up, since once again triangles have line segments which are straight. Okay. And I can extend this one out more. I can probably use my 32 degrees here now, kind of see where everything is. So it'll probably be around here, but we'll check and we'll see if everything lines up there. And line this one up. And there we go. So once again, you can see that this is 32 degrees. It lines beautifully up. All right, so here is our triangle with 32 degrees, 100 degrees, and 48 degrees. Nice. And I'm going to cut this out so we can compare the triangles pretty easily. And just lay them on top of each other, and that way we can see congruence. And if they line perfectly up on top of each other, then we know the two triangles will be congruent. And make sure you're very precise following the line. If not, we're not going to be able to see if it actually is congruent or not. So here's our first triangle. Number 1. This is the number 1. So now let's do our other triangle. We're going to do the same thing basically, but we're just going to switch where the 10 centimeters is. So get your ruler again, and we're going to make a line that is 10 centimeters long. So here we go, that is 10 centimeters. Let's put dots right there again. And I'm once again going to put this, but I'm going to put the 100 degrees here. And make sure we line everything up. And I can use this one now as a guide. So this here is 100 degrees. And this is 10 centimeters. Now let's make this point from here. We'll make this 32 degrees. Move this paper a bit. Make sure everything's perfectly lined up. Okay. So this is 32 degrees. Oh. And then we need to extend this. And this should be 48, which it is. This is 48 degrees. Okay, now we can also cut this one. So and what I did here basically was have all three angles in the same place, but I placed the 10 centimeter side length in a different position to really see if the triangles would be congruent, because the problem did not specify which side length was 10 degrees, 10 centimeters. So now you see we have triangle 1 and triangle 2, and you can already tell basically that these two triangles do not look congruent. If you have everything lined up, we have the 32 here, the 100 here, and they're all congruent, and then the 48 here. And we have two 10 centimeters, which are congruent there as well. But if you place them on top of each other, you can tell that this triangle is not congruent to this triangle, as the side lengths all differ. So this is 10 centimeters. These are similar. This is not similar if we line it up. And then this definitely is not similar. See all the remaining green. So you can tell that these two triangles are not congruent. Therefore, we gave in a counterexample to our problem, our statement here. So this statement is false. The triangles are not congruent. And here is our counterexample.